What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about cheap fragrances for summer, because I've got a plethora of some really good ones that are worth checking out, and some of these I've yet to cover for this year that I really think you should give a shot. All can be found for around $50 or less, some much less. Some of these will surprise you that you can find for under $50. We got some great options from Dolce & Gabbana, some stuff from Mercedes-Benz, Lacoste, John Varvatos, Calvin Klein, and a lot more. So make sure to keep it locked and stay tuned. Starting with one that came out last summer that I'm shocked is in the price point. 75 ml like this bottle you can get for around $39, I believe is what it was priced at. And then right under 50, right around 50 for the 125 ml of Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Summer Vibes. Last year's summer flanker, because apparently we're not getting one this year because we're in summer and they never announced anything. So here it is. Citruses, a little bit of greens and wood, still has that salty oceanic feel without being as aquatic as something like maybe Italian Love or Light Blue Forever or Oh Intense, some of the past flankers. This is really good work from them. It stays true to the original's DNA. You will smell light blue in here, which I deem to be one of the greatest fresh fragrances for men of all time. This is actually fantastic. Above average performance too. This one kind of falls in the wheelhouse of 6, 7, even 8 hours in longevity on my skin. It's relatively loud early on for an hour or so. This is a great summertime fragrance that just happens to be a bona fide cheapie for summer 2024. So I felt it was only right to start the video with this one. Quintessential for this year. Get your nose on it. Light Blue Summer Vibes. Another one that 100 ml is going to run you right at the limit. The price limit of right around 50, 51 bucks. A 50 ml will get you in the 30 to some odd dollar price point. So it's right around, it's in that ballpark of a bona fide cheapie. A great option. This is from Lacoste. This is L1212 Blanc. This is the Fraiche. I believe it was a 2022 release, if I remember correctly. This is one of the best. This and the Oh Intense, I think, are their two best releases in recent years. I'm a huge fan of this fragrance. This is a lot of bright, fresh citrus. Still ties to the original. You still get a hint of that leather accord from the original, a little bit of the white floral feel. It's kind of ozonic, fresh, watery. It doesn't really have much of an iodine salty feel, so it doesn't have like that marine aquatic tone, but still has a watery nature to it to really intensify the juiciness of the citruses here. Average performance around 5 or 6 hours in longevity for me. This is a great pickup for this summer that more people need to give a shot. The bergamot kind of lemon lime kind of thing going they have here is just delicious smelling for being juicy citruses. I strongly encourage checking this out this summer. It's Lacoste L1212 Blanc Fraiche. I was surprised at the price point for this. I mean, they typically get cheap, but I didn't think it was already at $39 for a 100 milliliter bottle. In the link below, you can get my favorite version of Chrome Eau de Parfum, which initially was not my favorite, was barely cracking my top 5 in its own line, but after spending time with it, this is my favorite version of Chrome. So what do I like so much about this? It smells like the original. It's that metallic, citrus, aquatic, but a lot of green elements. A little bit of fir balsam and cypress, if I remember correctly. Kind of smells like Chrome mixed with Acqua di Gio Profondo Lights, that discontinued summer flanker that they did, like, I want to say like 3 years ago. There it is. Beautiful aquatics and greens. Man, this is such a great option. Still has that shower gel smell. It is still a Chrome flanker. Above average performance. This one goes 6 to 8 hours in longevity. Pretty loud for about 2 hours on my skin as well. And you can straight up get this one for right around 39, 40 bucks. For 100 ml at this point. That is hard to beat. This is such a great fragrance. If any of that stuff sounds good, it's a no-brainer for you to check out this summer. If you like Chrome and maybe you just haven't experienced this one yet, it's worth diving into. Definitely give it a look this summer if you're interested. There's Azzaro Chrome Eau de Parfum. A bona fide cheap fragrance. You can find this one in the 30 some odd dollar price point for 100 ml. Just be wary of testers. Testers don't come with the cap and they look kind of stupid without the cap. I'll show you in a second. But Mercedes-Benz Man Bright. So what's different about this one? It's only bergamot, right? What's so special? Well, the way they did this, it's got this airy fresh. See, it looks stupid without the cap. I mean, it's fine, but trust me, you want the cap. So be wary of testers. They don't have the cap when it comes to these Mercedes-Benz Man fragrances. But this will remind you a little bit of Bleu de Chanel, but instead of grapefruit, it's bergamot. It's a bergamot dominant, so not exactly the same. Has this super bright, airy, fresh, juicy citrus, a little soapy clean. The biggest trade-off here, though, is it starts to transition into a slightly powdery, sweet tonka bean smell. You have some woody elements here as well, but it's actually quite nice. And even though it offers some sweetness and some powder, it's not cloying and heavy for the summertime. It actually offers this nice, slight cooling effect to go with some sweetness that works really well in the summer. The name being Bright as the flanker name is very fitting. It's a very bright citrus with some fresh yet powdery sweet tonka bean. It's a great fragrance. It's an average performer, 6-7 hour range, nothing crazy, gets the job done. It's very affordable. It'll remind you, like I said, a little bit of stuff like Bleu de Chanel without smelling just like Bleu de Chanel. It definitely does its own thing. Very blue fragrance, a fresh blue, if you will. That's Mercedes-Benz Man Bright. Still widely available, still around $20. Still not winning performance awards. It's like a 3, maybe 4 hour fragrance, which is better than previous summer releases. I love getting these every year. It's One Summer Daze. I love getting the One Summer flankers. So what's different about this one? There it is. Notice this orange color. It's a lot of kumquat. Juicy orange citrus without smelling like mandarin oranges. It's dominant kumquat. Offers this juicy, slightly sweet type of fruity tone instead of being more citric and acidic like most orange notes would be. Has this watery tone to it, very clean and musky, super, super bright and airy fragrance, very refreshing on a hot summer day. This is good stuff. This is arguably their best one. 2014 was special. 2019 and 2021 are phenomenal. But then I want to say this was 2022 because Reflections was last year for 2023. So yeah, 2022, this one came out. And it might be the best one. To me, anyways, I think it's the best one. That's why I wanted to feature this one specifically, because you can still find most of the ones I just named. These One Summer flankers, underrated because people want beasts, and sometimes you don't need a beast, especially in the summer. You're out, you need a refresher, you want something to cool you down, you want a great, uplifting, invigorating experience from your fragrance, you probably want to check out One Summer Daze. This one continues to impress me, and I paid low 30s for a 4.2 ounce bottle with a little sticker that says tester on the full presentation box. So $30 to $40, $45 range, depending on where you find it, for a big bottle of John Varvatos XX Indigo. This is kind of in the vein of a Dylan Blue without too much of a shower gel smell. There's like this leafy green smell to it, a little hint of spice, a drier woodsy tone. It still has a little bit of a watery feel. That Himalayan poppy, the flower note in here, doesn't make it too powdery. But it definitely adds a bit of depth and texture to this fragrance without making it heavy. Very much an interesting, slightly more unique blue fragrance, but still gives me elements of things. That's why I say kind of Dylan Blue family. But trust me when I say it does not smell exactly like Dylan Blue. That's me trying to find something to relate it to when describing to you guys with something that you've more than likely smelled. It's still very much its own thing. I would say maybe 20% relation to Dylan Blue. That's just to kind of paint you a picture of the path. That's even more synthetic than this. This has a lot of character and, like I said, quite unique for what it is. It's cheap. It's a decent performer around 6 hours. It smells fantastic. There's a little bit of powder, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of spice, a little bit of fresh, a little bit of soap. There's a little bit of a lot, and it works perfectly. Just a nice, smooth, harmonious transition from start to finish. Check this out this year. It's John Varvatos XX Indigo. Time to get tropical. That means it's time to go Tommy Bahama. Maritime Voyage. So this one offers starfruit. When I say starfruit, some of you immediately think Versace Man Fraiche. Yes, that's the most infamous fragrance to feature that note. So you get a little bit of sour citrus, you get some creamy coconut, some bright lemongrass. It's a little watery. It's not too creamy. Very much a tropical fragrance that doesn't smell like sunscreen, for having a prominent, slightly creamy lactonic type of coconut to it. It doesn't smell like sunscreen. It definitely smells like the beach though. Very much a beach fragrance. This Eau de Cologne, an EDC concentration, does give me every bit of 5 hours easily in longevity. These Tommy Bahama fragrances can be deceptive. Almost all of them are Eau de Colognes, and just about all of them give me at least 4 hours, some of them even 6 hours for being a very low oil concentration. I think it's quite impressive. And they're very, very cheap, and this is my favorite, hands down. Besides St. Bart's, this is the best of the bunch to me personally. I have all of the ones in this line, and I have a majority of the Tommy Bahama fragrances. They're just fun fragrances for the summertime. And this is the one that gets the main stamp of approval, because I could have told you St. Bart's. You might have expected St. Bart's. I've told you St. Bart's in the past, and I'll tell you now. St. Bart's is phenomenal. Yeah, get that. Sure, let's give it an honorable mention here and now. But if you want to try something a little different from Tommy Bahama that I think is their best work to date, check out Maritime Voyage. Lime citrus, bright, slightly soapy, a little powdery even, lavender, a little coniferous green with a hint of an earthy, woody tone, and it's cheap. It's Azzaro Chrome Cologne Intense. You can get this one very cheap these days. Average performance in that 6 hour range. And it smells great. When I say coniferous, what do I mean? Think pine cones. Okay, a little bit of that pine cone smell with lime and lavender. The mastic note here does a few things. It's got several characteristics. It gives a little bit of an earthy and woodsy tone, and it offers that green coniferous type of feel, and even a slight hint of powder that could be lavender, it could be from the mastic, it could be a combination of both. But it's a beautiful fragrance that starts off super fresh and juicy lime and dries into a more woodsy, slightly earth characteristic that doesn't lose a lot of the freshness that's offered in the opening, which makes this really something you can wear year round, but works fantastic in the summer if you want something that's familiar but kind of off the beaten path at the same time, because it starts off familiar but dries down very much into its own thing with some pretty good performance. That's Azzaro Cologne Intense. Super cheap, relatively new. I paid like $18, $19 for this not long ago. And it's in the vein of a Neroli Portofino. It's a white floral citrus green. But this offers a little bit more spice, I find. This is Eau de Rochas Citron Soleil. Very much a unisex fragrance. Does lean a little feminine because it's very white floral dominant. But if you like anything about the Tom Ford Neroli Portofino style, you'll like this. Oh man, will you like this? This is so good. And for the money, it's deceptive. The first time I smelled this, I damn sure didn't think it was something I paid like $18 or $19 for. This is a great little cheapy addition into your cart when you're buying some fragrances online. And it's actually relatively strong, 4 to 5 hours in longevity, and it's pretty potent for the first hour. It's not winning any performance awards, but it's definitely not a very weak fragrance. I just took a random dice roll blind buy on this fragrance because I saw it was cheap. I liked the name. I saw the notes. I said, sure. Turns out, fantastic if you like Neroli fragrances. You gotta like Neroli. It's that soapy white floral smell, orange flower kind of thing going on. But man, thank Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford. Add a little bit of spice, richen up the florals, actually thicken up the florals a bit here. It's really, really good stuff. Great for the summer. Eau de Rochas Citron Soleil. Last but not least, a 40 ml like this will run you around 14 bucks. 100 ml is like low 20s. Fresh cut lemons, sharp fresh cut lemons, clean white musk, a little bit of white florals, and I don't even remember if that relates to the notes, but that's what it smells like to me. This is Happy Chopard Lemon Dolce. And no, that is not acrylic or plastic. That's actually glass with that cap. I love the presentation. I believe this is actually marketed for women, but I don't care. This is such an under-the-radar, cheap gem. Shout outs to Giancarlo Burton, longtime channel member that recommended this to me months and months and months and months ago when I was doing some online shopping on a live stream with my audience, and he was like, buy this. Man, is this a great fragrance. I can't advocate for this enough. If you want fresh cut lemons, here you go. And very authentic, photorealistic smelling, cutting into some lemons with a super clean musk. It's very airy, super refreshing. Average performance at best 4 or 5 hours. Nothing crazy here, but 14 bucks. Get the 40 ml, roll the dice, try it out, spend the summer with it, and then end up buying another bottle later because you loved it and you drained it this summer. So 40 ml might not be enough for you, but 14 bucks for a 40 ml. It's definitely worth a shot. It's Happy Chopard's Lemon Dolce. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. Of these 10, what have you tried? I'll have links down below for everything if you want to check them out. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 10 recommendations for this particular summer and you give them a spray now, I really believe there's a good chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.